What is the weight of a memory? Or how much time must pass for an invisible trace to fill a room, a mind, and even a heart? Throughout human history, we have left lasting monuments of stone and metal. Yet perhaps the most enduring legacy was the most volatile one. A scent can transport us in seconds to a decade ago, to a forgotten garden, or to the shoulder of a loved one. So, where and how was this invisible bridge, this magic suspended in the air, first designed? Deep within us stirs a silent curiosity about thousands of years ago, about the sacred place of fire and smoke in human life. How did humans discover that the resins, barks, and flowers offered by nature appealed not only to the eye, but, when cast into the fire, to the soul as well? What was the message hidden within that smoke rising to the sky? And yes, now we move to the topic. Our story begins, quite literally, through smoke. From the Latin, perfumum, meaning through smoke. The origin of perfume lay hidden not in chic glass bottles or laboratories, but in the heat of fire and embers, in the dim corridors of temples, long before our time. Close your eyes and let yourself drift back approximately 4,000 years to the warm lands of Mesopotamia. Between sun-scorched mud brick walls, a woman named Taputi, history's first known chemist, stands before massive cauldrons. She is not merely producing pleasant scents, she is decoding the language of speaking with the gods. In that era, scent was not an ornament, but a means of communication. It was believed that when resins of myrrh, frankincense, and cedarwood were placed upon glowing coals, the rising, dense, spicy, and mystical smoke carried prayers to the heavens. In Taputi's laboratory, there was a dance of oils with flowers, reeds, and resins that lasted for days. This was the highest level of patience and attention. A single drop of error could destroy weeks of labor. With primitive apparatuses that could be considered the ancestors of distillation stills, Taputi trapped the spirit of nature into liquid. In those moments when the air grew heavy and the scent of resin lightly burned the throat, perfume was not yet for the skin, but for the soul. Flowing slowly down the river of time, we move to the fertile banks of the Nile, to ancient Egypt. Here, scent possessed a sanctity beyond life and death. On the cool stone floors of temples, priests would burn resins every morning to awaken the sun god Ra. However, the Egyptians were one of the first civilizations to take scent out of the temples and carry it onto the body. Imagine the legendary mixture they named kefi, a paste-like, dense, and sweet incense where honey, wine, raisins, myrrh, cinnamon, and juniper berries were blended through rituals lasting for days. When evening came and the hot winds of Egypt subsided, people purified both their homes and their minds with these scents. Not only temples, but bodies too, were anointed with these sacred oils. To smell good was a divine virtue for the Egyptians. Cones filled with scented oils placed upon their heads would slowly melt with body heat, spreading a coolness scented with jasmine and lotus over their shoulders, their hair, and their entire bodies. There was no rush in this scene. The scent melted slowly. Time flowed slowly. Scent here was a symbol not of luxury, but of cleanliness and order. Now we turn our route to the east, to the rose gardens of Persia and the golden age of science. In the 10th century, a physician named Avicenna, Ibn Sina, standing on that fine line between alchemy and chemistry, signed an invention that would change the history of perfume forever: the steam distillation method. Until then, scents were heavy and dense mixtures obtained by steeping plants in oils. But Avicenna succeeded in separating the purest soul of the rose, its essential oil, from the water. Imagine thousands of rose petals being filled into massive copper cauldrons in the cool mornings of Isfahan. As the gentle fire burning underneath turned the water into steam, the delicate essence of the rose rose with the vapor, passed through cooling pipes, liquefied again, and dripped as rose water, with a lightness never seen before. This was perfume shedding its weight and taking wing. Now, Scent was not only resinous and smoky, but floral, fresh, and volatile. This technique was the beginning of a revolution that would follow the spice route to Europe, and from there, to the whole world. As centuries passed, scent took on a completely different role in Europe. In the dark and often foul-smelling streets of the Middle Ages, perfume served as a shield. People believed that diseases were spread by bad air. Therefore, they carried small metal spheres called pomanders, filled with amber, musk, and cloves around their necks or on their belts. This was an invisible armor, a sort of scented wall they built against the invisible danger around them. But for the birth of perfume in the modern sense, alcohol had to meet scent in the 14th century. Hungary water, rumored to be made for the Queen of Hungary, transformed perfume from an oily paste into a cooling liquid sprayed onto the skin with its refreshing combination of rosemary and alcohol. Alcohol increased the volatility of the scent, turning it into a cloud that instantly dispersed into the air. And finally, our story takes us to the south of France, to the town of Grasse. The story of this place, known today as the capital of perfume, is actually quite ironic. Grasse was originally a leather tanning center. Leather gloves smelled unbearably bad due to the substances used in the production process. In the 16th century, tanners began to plant jasmine, tuberose, and orange blossoms on the surrounding hills to mask this smell. Nature triumphed over craft. Over time, leatherwork declined, but the fields of flowers remained. Imagine the harvests on the slopes of Grasse, made with the first light of morning, before the heat of the sun evaporated the essence of the flowers. A ritual where jasmine flowers must be picked one by one with delicate fingers. A patient collaboration of labor and nature, where only a few grams of absolute oil are obtained from thousands of flowers. Here, time was divided by seasons and harvests. The May rose, the August jasmine. Each was a time capsule waiting to be bottled. By the 20th century, chemistry laboratories began to synthesize imitations of nature and even scents not found in nature. Number 5. Designed by Ernest Beau for Coco Chanel, with its audacious use of aldehydes, moved perfume away from being an imitation of a flower garden and transformed it into an abstract work of art. Now, scent was not just the portrait of a flower, but the scent of an emotion, an atmosphere, of modernity. Today, when you uncap a bottle, you are actually smelling the result of a journey lasting thousands of years. The smoke of Mesopotamia, the rituals of Egypt, the roses of Avicenna, the fields of Grasse, and the molecules of modern chemistry. All are hidden within that tiny drop. Perfume is the human desire to stop time. It is the effort to seal the passing moment with a fleeing scent. It is perhaps our quietest, but most powerful form of communication. A presence that tells without speaking, felt without touching. The list of quiet births we will tell in Soft Origins is very long. In the next journey, we will move together towards the calm origin of something else. Now, your eyes may grow heavy, your mind may lighten, and you may glide towards a peaceful sleep. Good night.